All right, everybody. Good Tuesday afternoon. 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins here with our Nicole update. Now a tropical storm has transitioned from a subtropical storm. There was some colder air to the north, warmer air to the south. Now it's warm core all the way around. The upper level low is above it is breaking down, and it's actually starting to shape up and strengthen like you would expect a tropical system to do, and that's what the forecast calls for. So let's jump right into it now. You can see that we basically have this system now moving to the west-southwest a little bit. Their official movement is west at 10 miles per hour, but you can see it's kind of moved a little to the west-southwest. It looks much, much better today as far as tropical systems go. But there is still a little bit of dry air that's being wrapped around on the backside of this, so it's going to limit as much strengthening as it can get. But look at all the moisture that's already starting to flow in our area. This will continue through the evening hours, and then you can see the main rain shield is still sitting out here, and of course there'll be a lot right there around the center. So here's the forecast track as of 4 o'clock this afternoon. This track has shifted a little to the south and a little to the west, which is actually on the bottom side of the guidance. So now they've got winds over us around 65 miles per hour. So this actually increases the winds potentially in our neck of the woods for Thursday morning through Thursday evening. All right, that'll be when we see most of it. They do have it as a Category 1 landfall. In fact, they've got it as a hurricane before it gets to the Bahamas. And then a Category 1 hurricane north of Jupiter with landfall late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, then decreasing as it comes across the state. After that, it'll move off towards the northeast and up across the mid-Atlantic and the northeast. Winds right now are at 65 miles per hour, so it's strengthening. It's getting stronger, right? Watches and warnings. We have hurricane warnings now for the Bahamas, Grand Abaco, for the coast of Florida from about Daytona down to almost to Fort Lauderdale or so. Okay, you can see that. The blues that you see here, these are tropical storm warnings. Hardee County, Polk County, Highlands County. That means we expect tropical storm force winds in that area within the next 48 hours. Still along the coast here for west central Florida, most of our counties are under tropical storm watch, likely to go to a warning for Pasco, Hernando, and Citrus at least if the track continues in this direction. In fact, if it comes right over us, like the latest Hurricane Center forecast is, it would give us tropical storm warnings for Hillsborough and Pinellas at least as well. All right, now, tropical storm surge watches and warnings. Warnings over on the East Coast. Yeah, we actually have some watches here for us from Anclo River northward. That's going to be about 2 to 4 foot of surge, but that's not going to happen until the back side of it, Thursday afternoon and evening. You can see the highest is obviously going to be over on the East Coast, 3 to 5 foot. Now, initially, this water is going to blow out of the bay, down 2-3 feet, maybe even 4 feet out of the bay, right? We saw that with Irma, we saw it with Ian. Those were bigger storms, more wind with those storms, not as much wind with this storm as it's coming by, so not as much water will be blown out. Then, if the storm gets in this area here, the winds initially going to be coming in like this, right? They're going to blow it out. The center goes like this, and the center's up here, the winds are going to be blowing like this. Okay, and that's going to blow the water back in a little bit. Now, these will be weaker winds, but those will be the winds that can blow some water back towards the coast. That's why we think 2 to 4 here, and it looks like now about 1 to 3 up into the bay. Again, Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening. Here are the forecast models, and take a look at this red line you see here. That is the center line from the Hurricane Center forecast. Look how far they are south of most of the modeling. All right, that is basically this southern line you see here, their line. That's pretty well agreeing with the European and the GFS. Most of the other models are further north than this. Even the one we run here at the station is further north than this. This would give us a little bit more wind and rain, okay? This would give us less if it goes further to the north. That's what we want, right? For the Tampa Bay area, at least. It's kind of centered when you get up into the Georgia area. It's kind of centered on all of that forecast data there. So that's where the latest trend is. Now, I want to just show you our forecast model that we have here. It's called the graph, the IBM graph. And I put the center line from the Hurricane Center on there so you can see it deviating a little bit as early as tomorrow evening. Okay. Now let's go back out and let's stop it right around 9 a.m. on Thursday. This model's been very consistent since Monday, since Sunday night, saying landfall near Cape Canaveral. Last night around 11, it shifted up north of there just a little bit. Still looking in that area right now. Hurricane center, again, is way down here with the eye. All right, that was Thursday at 9 in the morning. This is Thursday at 3 p.m. The center's way up here. And even if it's not here and it's over here where the hurricane center is, the timing's very similar. So the core of this coming through is for the Tampa area, and especially northward, is going to be about, over, let's say before sunrise on Thursday through about 5 p.m. on Thursday evening. Because then look, things are tapering off pretty quickly Thursday evening as it moves off to the north and the east. Here's the closer look at that forecast model. I want to take you all the way out through tomorrow morning. So we have some scattered showers coming through the area now, but we are pushing those winds to the southwest. So you'll see that rain coming through in that area as we get going into the rest of this evening. It's not anything heavy, but there'll be some quick downpours that are coming through. Now, as we get through about 8:30 tomorrow evening, now you're starting to see the core of the moisture come on shore right along the immediate coast, okay? So that's the East Coast starting to see it. This is tomorrow evening, Wednesday evening. Now watch what happens overnight, Wednesday night into Thursday. This is 3 in the morning, Thursday. Outer rain bands are coming through. We'll get breezy and gusty when that comes through. Highest winds are still sitting out here. Now keep in mind, this forecast model is the one that has it well to the north. The Hurricane Center says it's down here somewhere over Polk County. Okay, that still timing remains the same. This would be Thursday morning, somewhere in this area. That's when we'd start to see some of the heaviest wind and rain. And right now, with the latest forecast, I'd have to up those numbers to maybe 50 to 60 mile per hour winds with some higher gusts. But I think it'll be a little bit less than that. This is 1 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. You can see the moisture still pushing across the area, although the winds now are pushing on shore. And then by 5 o'clock, the rain's starting to dry up. And then by the evening hours, 10:30, you can see most of the rain's up to the north. Winds are still blowing on shore at this point. That's our storm surge issue, but they are decreasing through the evening hours Thursday night. Okay, so yes, Thursday afternoon through Thursday early evenings, best chance to see any kind of surge, 2 to 4 feet for the normal spots here, right? Most of that's not going to cause much of an issue, and about 1 to 3 foot in the bay. And that will cause some issues in those normal spots like Snell Isle and some parts of Oldsmar and Old Northeast, those areas. All right, so I'm kind of hoping that this one happens. This is the graph model. This is the one I just showed you, and you can see the winds and just how far off they are. See the eye here, just north of Cape Canaveral, and then look at the winds in Tampa, 19 with gusts in the 30s, 20s at Spring Hill with gusts in the 30s to near 40. Meanwhile, it's gusts in the 50 in Orlando. Highest winds are going to be up here around this, all right? Now, let's go ahead and jump and look at the European model, and this is what the Hurricane Center is kind of buying with. And look at that, it really follows that line pretty well. I mean, they've got the center right over top of it. This is Thursday morning at 7 a.m., and you can see we've got winds out of the north, 25 miles per hour with gusts to near 40. That's early Thursday morning. And then as we move through Thursday afternoon, still windy, but later in the day, this is 4 o'clock, the winds will start to turn back on shore. That's, again, our surge threat. That's not terrible. But winds will be blowing at 20s and gusting to 30s at that time. Okay? So that's when we'll have to watch for that. But things will actually be improving as we go through Thursday night. So that track is basically right on top of what the European model is doing. Tropical storm wind probability, 60% in Tampa, 82% in Orlando, 73% in Gainesville, right? Look at Fort Myers. They could use a break. Small chance that you're going to get tropical storm force winds, which means winds of about 40 miles per hour or so. All right, so this is a good graphic to use to kind of see where these darker colors are. This is the area that's going to get the worst weather, right? You can kind of focus in on that, especially with wind. I mean, this is looking just at wind, but basically that's where the center of the storm would be going. Okay, now flood watches. Polk, Hardy, DeSoto, Highlands County all have flood watches. Sumter County as well too. I wouldn't be surprised if the track is doing something like this. They're likely to at least carry those into Pasco, Hernando, and Citrus County, and that would be issued maybe later tonight. But it really, I'm thinking rain chances here will be the highest, and it's about 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. So it's not terrible. All right, maybe some spots get a little bit more than that. All right, here are the threats. All right, now. The latest forecast just came in, so as I was saying, this is what we were thinking a little bit further to the north, 25 to 50 mile per hour winds starting Wednesday evening, going through Wednesday afternoon, early evening. All right, that might bump up to about 35 to 55 with higher gusts. Rainfall 2 to 6 inches. I think, Sarasota 1 to 2 inches, if that. Tampa 2 to 4, and it's probably closer to 2. Pasco, Hernando, Citrus 3 to 4. Right, the further north you go, the better chance you're going to see some rain. The tornado risk is really slight. I have to put it in there, but the best chance for tornadoes is going to be over on the East Coast, and literally, I think Disney eastward. Right, you go all the way down in Highlands County, small chance. Eastern Polk County, very small chance. I think the best chance is going to be from Orlando northward and east along the northeast coast of Florida. Now, storm surge, again, 2 to 3 foot, 2 to 4 foot really for the Nature Coast, and about 1 to 3 up in the Bay is the current forecast. All right, guys, that's it for now. So I'll get you out of here. We're going to get ready for the 5 o'clock show here at 10 Tampa Bay. The keynote that you want to get from this is that the track has shifted a little bit further to the south as of 4 o'clock this afternoon. The track has also shifted a little bit further to the west as of 4 o'clock this afternoon. That means a little bit further out here into the panhandle more than anything else. We don't want the center to get out here too far out over water, because if so, it'll try and re-strengthen just a little bit, and that will increase the winds that come in off of the water on the backside Thursday afternoon. But we'll keep an eye on it right now. We're kind of hoping, obviously, that we get something that comes up in this area a little bit more, and that way it'll be a little less for us. It'll be interesting with Artemis still sitting on the pad over there. They can take about 85-mile-per-hour winds. That's not even in the forecast at this point, but it is going to be interesting depending on where that center goes. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow us on all the social pages. Of course, we'll keep you updated right here.